What's up, everybody? Hey, Seattle Seahawks are in control of the NFC West, and I'm going to tell you why in this one. But first, I'm going to start with an interesting stat that isn't so good sounding, and I'm going to tell you why they're wrong. According to the Athletics projection model, if you don't know about the Athletic, it's a New York Times. They do a great job. Maybe even subscribe to it, but don't go there too much because we still want you to get your Seahawks news from here. The Seattle Seahawks have an 11% chance to make the playoffs and an 8% chance at winning the NFC West. A lot is riding on Sunday's result. With a win, those odds would increase to 21% of winning, of 21 and 16%. So, why am I coming out and telling you that the Seattle Seahawks control their own destiny? In this video, we're going to talk about a few different things. We are going to talk about turnovers. We are going to talk about the running game. We are going to talk about the upcoming schedule. And we're going to talk about a couple players that are going to be huge difference makers and why I think the Seattle Seahawks will come away as the NFC West champions this year. I really do believe it. I really do believe it, and I can see it, and I think the coaching staff has a big part to do with that, and we'll get into that in just a second. But before we jump into all that stuff, if you're new to this channel, we're Lions fans. You even see Sports Talk Detroit here on my shirt. We have another channel called Sports Talk Detroit. That's where it all started. But when we started this second channel extra, the Seahawks were one of the first teams we did a video on. We've been talking about them for well over a year now, and it's just a fun team to watch and see grow. We love talking about teams that, honestly, seem to be kind of ignored by the national media because we feel like that's what the Lions have been throughout history, and so that's what we love talking about. But first thing I want to do is I want to bust out the schedule. You can see it right here, or the standings. The Seahawks sit at 5-5. If they win by my calculations, they will have beaten the Cardinals, all right? And it depends on what happens with the Rams, but there is a chance that they walk out in the lead with the division, all right, after this week. If they win, the Rams lose, they're there, all right? So it is already set up, all right? So we look at that, but there's more to be talked about with that. Let's look at their schedule itself. Everything is in your hands. Now, some people could say that this makes it more difficult, while others could say that this makes it easier. You have 2 games in the next 3 weeks against the league division-leading Arizona Cardinals. All right, most of you already know this. Sandwich in between them are a disorganized, whatever you want to call it, franchise, disaster of a franchise in the New York Jets. Here's why your odds aren't great. You have Green Bay, Minnesota, 2 teams that are doing really, really well. Here's the deal. They're coming across the country. They have to play you, at least as across the country as it gets for teams that are more centrally located like them, in Seattle. Don't you think that's a big advantage? Meanwhile, Seattle went out, just beat San Francisco. San Francisco is without a starting quarterback this week. You have both games against the Cardinals, and at the end of the year, you have a chance to right the ship against the Rams and go ahead and get a victory against them. So tell me why, if they are getting hot, if they can get hot, why the Seahawks aren't the team. We saw it early in the year with victories over Denver, over New England, over Miami. We saw a dominant win against the Falcons. We saw them beat a solid San Francisco team. Why is this not a team that can go on a run? So the question you have to look at for things like this is, are they healthy? And the answer is they're getting healthy at the right time. While there's a long list of players that are on the injury report, all right, they are also all playing. All right, Noah Fant and Laviska Shenault are questionable with Brady Russell out. No big deal. All right? At this time in the year, this is a team that is getting healthy. You have an offensive line that is getting healthy. Last week, we talked about one of those offensive linemen in particular, in Oluwatimi, all right, who I'm a fan of because I'm a Michigan fan, and I'm telling you, you found your starting center. He's it. He is going to be it for the future. And you're going to have them at a cheap price. But what else? What are the other things that I feel this team can do better on? Number one is turnovers. All right, Seattle ranks 26th in turnover margin at -6. Here are the teams that they are in range with their turnover margin. The Giants, who are 2-8. The Patriots, who are 3-8. All right? That is the teams that are right next to you. You're 5-5. That already shows me people don't realize how big of a deal turnovers have to play. It's a massive deal in winning football games. You need to win the turnover battle. I think they're set to do that. All right, Geno Smith, let's look at this, is responsible for 11 of those 16 turnovers that the Seattle Seahawks have committed. All via interceptions. All of them. All right, he's tied with Patrick Mahomes and Jordan Love. Something that all these people have in common, they throw the ball a lot. All right, here's the deal. Geno's in top 5 in passing yards, and often that comes with a large amount of interceptions. That does happen. But let's look at his interception rate. This is where stats get a little bit deeper. He has an interception rate of 2.9. That is tied for 11th. So his interception rate isn't tied for first. His interceptions are. He's just throwing the ball a ton. Now, at the same time, somehow, while having very good running backs, the Seahawks rank 30th in designed rush rate and 29th in EPA per play on those carries. So they rarely run the ball, and when they do, they're not good at it, which makes no sense. Part of this has been Walker's been a little banged up. Charbonnet has been banged up. Like, I get those kinds of things. All right. But when you look at the teams that you're playing coming up, both the Cardinals and the Jets, somehow the Jets, with that what is supposed to be a great defense, have below average run defenses by yards per game and success rates. So my thing with Seattle in the next 2 games against the Cardinals and in the next game against the Jets, get the ball going on the run. Run the football. All right? This defense will continue to get better. All right? McDonald was hired in part for his reputation with elevating the play of non-star level players, especially obviously on the defensive side of the ball. That's what he did so well in Baltimore. That's what he did well at U of M. Now he's left Baltimore. Is Baltimore's defense gotten better or worse this year? If you're not paying attention, it's significantly worse. The defense is significantly worse over there. This defense is continuing to round into form. Think about these non-star level guys that are playing really, really well. Guys like Kobe Bryant, guys like Josh Jobe, Derek Hall. They're playing their best football, right? Other guys, Byron Murphy, Tyrese Knight, have hit the ground running as rookies. So you're looking at this stuff and you're like, man, all of this to me, all the signs point to, and I mean this, all right, it points to a team that is elevating its play and will continue to play better and better as the year goes on. But here's the one thing it hinges on. Can they run the football? Can they run the football? And I think the offensive line is healthy. Tomlinson's back in. Lucas was back for the first time a week ago. All right. Cross is playing like a top 10 tackle in this league. All right. Oluwatimi is going to be settled in. This team should be able to start running the ball better. And they have all their weapons. I understand, like when I watch this offense under the Pete Carroll years, and I just said to myself, like, why are they not throwing the ball more? That's what I always said to myself, because when you got Lockett, when you have Smith and Jigba, when you have Metcalf, when you have all these weapons, like, you need to throw the ball more. And now with Grubb, they're just throwing it a little bit too much more. So I'd love to see them work in a little more of the run game. That'll help the defense not be as tired, which will help increase productivity and turnover rate there. Win the turnover battle in this last 7 games of the season, you're a playoff team. All right, thanks for watching. Hope you're as excited about this season, the rest of this season, as I am from the outside looking in. I think Seattle can make some big moves. All right, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.